University remembered one of their own today. Tiana Dye was killed in an off-campus stabbing back in July. Her friends and classmates today released balloons in her memory. Dye was 21 years old with the goal of becoming a dermatologist. Loved ones say they want to make sure she's not forgotten.
On the morning of July 14, 2024, a 21-year-old college student named Tiana Dye was found with a stab wound near her apartment in Montgomery, Alabama. She was transported to the hospital and later confirmed dead. The incident happened less than half a mile from the Alabama State University campus. Tiana was a biochemistry major. She was set to graduate in the spring of 2024. Her long-term plan was to become a dermatologist. She had no known criminal history, and there were no reports of threats or incidents before the event. At approximately 10:43 a.m., Montgomery Police Department officers responded to a call regarding a stabbing. Upon arrival, they located the victim with a serious injury to the chest. The scene showed no sign of a struggle. There was no sign of forced entry or robbery. Tiana was not carrying any weapon. Later, security camera footage reportedly showed an unidentified individual placing a knife on a porch near the scene. That person made a phone call, then left.
And you can see the roommate place an object on the porch and walk away.
The footage has not been released to the public. Police have not named any suspects or persons of interest. The case is classified as a death investigation. No arrests have been made as of now. The Montgomery Police Department has requested assistance from the public, but has provided few additional updates. There is no confirmed motive. No official timeline of events has been released beyond the response and discovery. The victim's family has raised questions about the lack of suspects. This case involved an educated, focused student found dead with minimal evidence and no immediate leads. The crime occurred in broad daylight, and key details remain undisclosed. This is the unsolved case of Tiana Dye. This is a full story of every move, every brutal detail. If you're captivated by real crime stories that peel back the layers of truth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us as we uncover real cases, raise awareness, and give a voice to the voiceless. Before we dive into today's story, we want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? And how do you feel as the story unfolds? Welcome to Deadly Crime Unmasked, the show where we expose the shocking crimes that rip through communities and the chilling secrets lurking behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications. You won't want to miss the gripping story that's coming up. Now, let's dive in.
Morning that this took place, the young lady who's my daughter's friend, she reached out to him. Saw my daughter reach out to him, and she sent me the messages. My daughter reached out to him and said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna do another deep clean of the home. Can you just ask her to pick up her things? I don't need her to clean nothing. If she could just pick up her stuff, I'm cleaning." And in the group chat, all the young ladies knew she was deep cleaning the house. In the Ring camera, you see her in what do you call it? Almost like workout attire, the workout top and pants, and she's got her hair pinned up and her cleaning gloves on, and she's just taking trash out to the garbage by the lawn, and then she comes back out and empties the trash from the kitchen, and she goes back in. There's music playing, you can hear it. Something she's seen me do all her life. Turn on the music and clean, right? And so my thing is, when was it that she got so agitated to attack you to where this was self-defense? When was this?
Tiana Dye was a 21-year-old college senior living in Montgomery, Alabama at the time of her death. She was a student at Alabama State University, a historically black university located in the heart of the state capital. Tiana was enrolled in the College of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, majoring in biochemistry. Her academic journey was focused and strategic, with a long-term goal of becoming a licensed dermatologist. Her expected graduation date was in the spring of 2024, just months after her death. By all accounts, Tiana was on track to graduate successfully. Her academic performance was consistent. She maintained high grades across semesters and was regularly recognized on the university's dean's list for academic excellence. Tiana had also been involved in campus organizations. One of her notable memberships was with the NAACP, where she contributed to student-led initiatives and advocacy work. Though she was not one of the most publicly visible students, those within her academic circle recognized her for her discipline and dedication. Her classmates noted her as someone who always completed tasks on time and often helped others understand complex subjects in chemistry and biology. Tiana's personal life was structured around her studies. She was known for being quiet and private. She was not known to engage in frequent social activities or attend campus parties. Her routine was consistent. She attended classes, returned to her apartment, studied, and occasionally visited close friends or family. According to statements from people who knew her, she preferred to spend her time either studying or relaxing in solitude. She lived alone in an apartment located less than half a mile from the Alabama State University campus. The area where her apartment was located was considered safe by most residents. It was a residential zone, primarily occupied by students, faculty members, and working professionals. There had been no recent reports of violent activity or threats in the immediate area leading up to the incident. Tiana's family was described as close-knit. Her mother, Danielle Luckett, was reportedly her closest relative and support system. Danielle was actively involved in Tiana's academic life, keeping in regular contact and offering moral support. Other relatives were also supportive of Tiana's goals and progress, often encouraging her to pursue her ambition of entering medical school after graduation. Tiana had no known history of disciplinary issues, criminal involvement, or conflict with law enforcement. She also did not appear on any public watch lists or records indicating instability or suspicious behavior. Friends confirmed that she had no known enemies and had not reported any personal threats or unusual encounters in the weeks prior to the incident. From a behavioral standpoint, Tiana displayed characteristics typical of a high-achieving, goal-oriented individual. She planned her future in steps. First, finish her biochemistry degree. Next, apply to medical schools with dermatology programs. She had expressed interest in internships and shadowing opportunities at dermatology clinics during the summer. Her academic counselors supported her ambitions, indicating that she was well qualified to move to the next stage in her education. Tiana's apartment was reportedly kept clean and organized. She kept to a schedule that allowed her to manage both classwork and personal responsibilities. She used tools like planners and digital calendars to stay on track. According to one academic advisor, she had no documented financial troubles at the time of her death and had a part-time job on campus that helped cover living expenses. As for her social behavior, Tiana did not engage heavily on social media. Her profiles were active but limited in content. Most posts related to academic achievements, motivational quotes, or occasional pictures with family members. She had a small circle of trusted friends, mostly classmates or neighbors within her apartment complex. Tiana's death occurred under circumstances that did not match her known lifestyle. She was not involved in high-risk environments. She was not known to associate with individuals involved in crime or violence. She had no reported disputes with neighbors or classmates, and there were no legal complaints filed against her. At exactly 10:43 a.m. on the morning of July 14, 2024, a call was placed to emergency services in Montgomery, Alabama. The report stated that a young woman had been found stabbed near an apartment complex located less than half a mile from Alabama State University. Police officers from the Montgomery Police Department were immediately dispatched to the scene. According to official reports, the location was a residential area not known for high levels of violent crime. The initial 911 call did not include the victim's name or specific details about the incident. It was classified as a medical emergency due to the nature of the injury. Upon arrival, officers located a young female who was later identified as Tiana Dye, a 21-year-old student at Alabama State University. She was found outside near the entrance of her apartment complex. Tiana was conscious but unresponsive at the time of discovery. She had sustained a single chest wound, which appeared to be consistent with a stabbing. The source of the injury was not immediately confirmed by police, but was treated as a potential assault with a deadly weapon. Emergency medical personnel transported her to a nearby hospital. Despite receiving treatment, Tiana Dye was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. At the scene, police cordoned off the area and conducted preliminary assessments. The incident was not initially classified as a homicide. Instead, MPD labeled it a death investigation, a general term used when the cause or manner of death has not been officially determined. This classification meant that, at the time, police had not confirmed that the case was a result of homicide, suicide, or accidental death. The term is often used by law enforcement in the early stages of the case to avoid misrepresenting facts before enough evidence is collected. This move sparked public interest and confusion, particularly because the victim had sustained a violent stab wound, and no weapon was immediately recovered from her body or surroundings. Despite the fatal injury and growing public concern, no arrests were made on the day of the incident or in the days that followed. The police did not issue any warrants or detain any persons of interest publicly. Law enforcement officers confirmed that they were reviewing surveillance footage and collecting physical evidence from the scene. This absence of quick action raised questions in the community. Many people began to speculate about the direction of the investigation, especially since there was no suspect announced and no clear motive presented. Police officers interviewed neighbors and residents in the area. They reportedly collected statements from people who lived in nearby units. However, no information provided at the time led to a suspect, and no official suspect description was released. The Montgomery Police Department released a public statement confirming that the victim was Tiana Dye, a student at Alabama State University. The statement came after next of kin had been notified. Tiana Dye, age 21, was a senior majoring in biochemistry. She was scheduled to graduate in the spring of 2024. The police shared only minimal personal details, consistent with protocol, and declined to comment further on her academic background or family situation. The statement reiterated that the case remained an active investigation, and that further updates would be provided when available. The MPD also asked the public to come forward with any relevant information, urging anyone who saw or heard anything unusual on the morning of July 14th to contact Crime Stoppers or the police department directly. Following the death of Tiana Dye, law enforcement began what was labeled a death investigation. However, limited information was made public. Within days, multiple inconsistencies began to raise questions, especially from people close to the victim and from those following the case online. One of the first major points of interest was that no weapon was found on or near Tiana Dye at the crime scene. According to official statements, the victim had sustained a deep chest wound, consistent with a stabbing. She was found in critical condition near her apartment complex in Montgomery, Alabama, and later died at the hospital. However, when officers searched the scene, they did not find a knife or any other object that could have caused such an injury on or around the body. This led to a clear assumption. The weapon was likely removed from the scene by someone, either immediately after the attack or at some later point before law enforcement arrived. Additionally, there was no sign of forced entry into her apartment, nor any evidence of robbery or missing items. Her phone identification and personal items were intact. This removed burglary as a likely motive. The absence of physical struggle at the scene and lack of disturbance in the surrounding area led to further suspicion. Investigators did not confirm whether the stabbing happened inside her apartment, on the porch, or outside in the surrounding lot. However, the body was discovered in close proximity to the apartment building, within the complex perimeter. With minimal clues from the scene, online forums, social media threads, and community discussions began to circulate various theories, with many people pointing to the possibility that Tiana may have known her attacker. The logic behind this speculation was built on several key observations. Someone could have been led involuntarily. A known person would be less likely to cause alarm. The attack occurred around 10:30 a.m. in daylight. An unknown intruder may have avoided a public setting at that time. This led people to begin listing possible categories of suspects, though none had been officially named. Tiana was academically successful and known for staying out of trouble. Some online users suggested that rivalry, jealousy, or unresolved conflict within her social circle could be a motive, though her personal relationship history was not public. Theories emerged that a romantic argument or breakup may have escalated to violence. Given that no immediate alarm was raised and the apartment was secure, many believe the attacker had direct or indirect access to her space and routine. Despite growing public attention, law enforcement did not release suspect details. No arrest was made, and no persons of interest were officially acknowledged by the Montgomery Police Department at the time of the reporting. One of the most widely discussed elements of the case came from a Ring doorbell camera located at or near Tiana Dye's apartment. According to her mother, Danielle Luckett, the family gained access to surveillance footage from the camera shortly after the incident. While the full video was never made public, key details were shared by the mother in interviews and social media posts. She described a sequence in the video as follows. A person is seen walking toward the porch area outside Tiana's apartment shortly after the time of the incident. The person does not appear panicked. Their movements are calm and deliberate. The individual makes a phone call, holding the phone up to their ear, standing still for a brief period. After the phone call, the person is seen placing an object on the porch, believed to be the weapon used in the stabbing. The individual then walks away from the area without running or looking back. This footage, if verified and reviewed, would directly contradict any theory that Tiana stabbed herself or that the attack was a random drive-by incident. The calmness of the person in the footage and the act of placing the weapon on the porch led many to believe that the suspect wanted to create the impression that the weapon was found nearby, possibly to mislead investigators or stage the scene. However, law enforcement has not officially confirmed the existence of this video. They also did not release the footage to the public, citing the open nature of the investigation. The Montgomery Police Department has not issued a formal statement regarding what the footage contains or whether the person seen in the video has been identified. This lack of transparency added to the online discussions, with many users claiming that withholding such footage from the public only slowed down progress. Some individuals believe that publicizing the video might lead to faster identification of the person in the recording. Others argued that police needed to preserve the integrity of the investigation by not releasing potentially key evidence prematurely. As a result, the Ring camera footage remains a central but unverified element of the case. No official breakdown of the video has been provided. No clarification has been given on whether the footage was entered as evidence. No confirmation has been made about whether the person in the video has been interviewed or located. Montgomery Police Department stated several times that the investigation was ongoing. They did not close the case or declare it inactive. According to official reports, detectives have been reviewing surveillance footage, interviewing people who may have been in the area, and processing evidence collected from the scene. Despite this, there have been no arrests. No person of interest has been officially named, and no updates have been provided to the media or the public about possible suspects or motives. The department has repeated that they are treating the case seriously and are still pursuing leads. In interviews with local media, they asked for patience from the public and encouraged anyone with information to step forward. Early in the investigation, the police asked residents of the area to review their home security cameras and contact Crime Stoppers if they saw or heard anything unusual. Flyers were distributed near the neighborhood and on campus. The university also issued a safety alert encouraging students to stay cautious and report any relevant information to law enforcement. Crime Stoppers provided an anonymous tip line, and a reward was offered for information leading to an arrest. Police hoped that someone might have seen suspicious behavior or recognized an individual leaving or arriving at the scene around the time of the incident. Despite these efforts, no substantial tips have been made public. The authorities have not confirmed receiving any credible leads. No further calls for tips have been circulated since late 2024. Since the first week of the investigation, no new evidence or case developments have been shared publicly. Police have not stated whether they have a suspect under surveillance or whether they've ruled anyone out. The lack of information has created confusion among residents and media outlets. Some community members speculated that the police were keeping details hidden to protect the integrity of the case. Others believe that the investigation may have stalled or that the police lacked enough forensic or witness evidence to move forward. Despite growing questions, the department continues to refer to the case as open and under active review. Reporters who requested case updates in early 2025 were told that there were no public details to release at this time. Over the course of several months, no suspect had been named and no official statements have been made about who might have been responsible. Police have not released any description of the person last seen near Tiana's location. There have also been no sketches, footage, or warnings issued to the public regarding a possible attacker. The Ring doorbell footage mentioned by Tiana's mother, where a person was allegedly seen placing a knife on the porch, was not confirmed or denied by police. They have not acknowledged receiving the video, and it has not been included in any official reports available to public. Due to this, the identity of the individual who may have been involved remains unknown. No court filings or warrants related to the case have surfaced. Tiana Dye mother, Danielle Luckett, began speaking publicly about her daughter's case. In multiple interviews with local media outlets, Danielle stated that Tiana had no known enemies. She emphasized that her daughter was focused on school, had no involvement in criminal activities, and maintained a small circle of friends. Danielle described Tiana as a quiet and academically driven young woman with no history of conflict or dangerous associations. Based on her behavior and habits, the family was unable to identify any individuals who may have wished to harm her. Shortly after Tiana's death, Danielle accessed security footage recorded by a Ring doorbell camera installed at or near her daughter's apartment. The footage reportedly captured activity outside the residence around the time of the incident. Danielle later described the footage publicly in interviews. According to her, the Ring footage showed a person walking up to the apartment porch. That person was seen placing a knife on the ground in front of the entrance. Before doing so, the person appeared to make a phone call. After the knife was placed, the individual left the scene. No visible attempt was made to knock on the door or alert anyone inside. The identity of the person in the footage has not been publicly confirmed. The police have not officially released the video to the public. Danielle shared this information to raise awareness and push for accountability. She claimed that the footage raised significant questions about whether her daughter's death was accidental, self-inflicted, or the result of foul play. She stated that the placement of the knife in the phone call immediately before it indicated that someone may have been trying to stage or cover up the scene. Danielle also pointed out that the police had not provided any explanation for the delay in naming a suspect or making an arrest. She said that investigators had not been in regular contact with her after the initial notification. In several interviews, she expressed frustration with the lack of information and the absence of official updates. According to Danielle, Tiana was not in possession of a weapon at the time of the incident. She emphasized this point to rule out any narrative suggesting self-harm. The medical report, which indicated a severe chest wound as a cause of death, was cited to support the idea that the injury was not accidental or minor. She also questioned why the knife was left on the porch instead of being handed to police, if the individual in the video had discovered it by accident. The lack of clarity surrounding this action added to her concern that her daughter may have been deliberately targeted. Despite reaching out to law enforcement and media for assistance, Danielle said she had not received further clarification on the direction of the investigation. Her public statements were focused on transparency, factual evidence, and accountability. She consistently called for the release of more information and requested that the police consider the Ring camera footage as a critical lead in the case. The public response to the death of Tiana Dye developed quickly after news of her stabbing became widespread. Local communities, including students and faculty at Alabama State University, expressed confusion and concern over the circumstances of her death. Tiana was known on campus as a disciplined student. The fact that she was found with a fatal stab wound so close to her graduation raised many questions. Online platforms, including social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, now X, and Instagram, became central in discussion. Users shared news articles, screenshots from interviews with her mother, and speculations about the footage from the Ring camera. Many people questioned why no suspects had been named. Others expressed disbelief that someone so close to completing her college degree had died in such unclear and suspicious circumstances. In the days that followed, a GoFundMe account was launched by family members and friends. The fundraising page was intended to collect donations to cover funeral expenses. The page included a brief biography of Tiana, her academic achievements, and the nature of the incident. It quickly gained traction, with contributions coming from classmates, professors, community members, and even strangers. Supporters shared the link widely across platforms, increasing visibility and funding within days. Simultaneously, students at Alabama State University organized multiple candlelight vigils. The first vigil was held on campus in the central courtyard. Participants included university staff, students, and representatives of student organizations. Attendees held candles, stood for moments of silence, and displayed signs with Tiana's name. Some students wore T-shirts printed with the message "Justice for Tiana." A second vigil was held near the apartment complex where the incident occurred. This gathering was smaller but symbolically important, as it represented a call for safety improvements and accountability in the neighborhood. Local news outlets covered both vigils, providing basic facts about Tiana's academic record and her aspirations to enter medical school. In addition to in-person events, several hashtags began trending online. Among the most frequently used were hashtag Justice for Tiana, hashtag Say Her Name, and hashtag Tiana Dye Case. These hashtags were used to coordinate community efforts, organize digital awareness campaigns, and pressure local authorities to release more details about the case. Users on X posted threads breaking down the known facts, while others reshared Danielle Luckett's interviews and statements. Some used the hashtags to connect the case to broader issues involving unsolved deaths of young women, especially college students. Several online petitions were also created. These petitions requested transparency from the Montgomery Police Department, the public release of the Ring footage, and accountability in the handling of the investigation. One petition reached over 10,000 digital signatures within the first 2 weeks. As of now, the public has continued to demand updates. The Montgomery Police Department has not provided any official comments beyond the initial death investigation classification. No suspects have been named, and no arrests have been made. Community leaders, student groups, and online advocates continue to use the existing digital platforms to maintain awareness of the case. The reaction from the public, both locally and online, has served as a central source of pressure on law enforcement. While the investigation remains open, the consistent activity from the community has kept Tiana Dye's case from going unnoticed or being forgotten.
We're right across the street from the hall where I dropped her off for the very first time when she started attending ASU. So I'm very proud that everyone came to show their love. It warms my heart in those moments where I don't know where to get the warmth from, so I appreciate them all so very much.
She was a student leader here on campus. She had a very vibrant soul, and she really tried to be a light wherever she wanted to go. So I just wanted to make sure that each and every student remembered her in the way that she would have wanted to be remembered.
If this story gripped your heart and left you questioning the truth, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with others who need to hear it. For more chilling true crime stories that dive deep into the mysteries behind these tragedies, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest updates, investigations, and thought-provoking discussions. Thank you for being part of this journey with us as we uncover the truth and seek justice. Together, we can make a difference. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next one.